What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having an excellent, amazing, wonderful day today. It is a beautiful day out here, which is why I'm not in the studio. I felt like doing something a little bit different rather than focus on the 4-hour chart or the 1 day or talk about the news that's happening. I wanted to talk about a broader picture question that everyone is asking me right now, and it's, is the bottom in? Should I buy Bitcoin? Should I sell the Bitcoin that I have now and wait to buy in cheaper? Or is this actually the time to be accumulating right now? Now, obviously, you know how I believe in dollar cost averaging. I believe buy high, buy low. But if you really want to ask, is now the opportune time to buy, or should we be worried? I want to go back in history and look at 7 legacy Bitcoin indicators and see how they performed in the past, and then we'll look at today and see if this shows us that we are in fact close to the bottom. Now, obviously, there could be a black swan event. Nobody really knows what's going to happen, and if anybody says they know what's going to happen, they're completely lying. But that being said, we still have history on our side, and this is not emotions, this is not the news, this is just the charts, guys. This is just what we have done in the past compared to what we are doing right now. And by the end of this video, maybe this will allow you to be able to make your own decision as to whether or not you believe that the bottom is in and whether or not you believe that now is a good time to buy Bitcoin. So let's hop in right now and let's have a look. So one of the first and most popular indicators are actually the 200 weekly moving average. Now, if you go back far enough, you'll notice that the line doesn't start until way out here in 2014, and that's simply because there wasn't enough data. So you can kind of guess where it might have been, but we really don't know that. But what we can see is that every time Bitcoin has come down and hung around this area, whether it be for a couple days or for a few weeks, this usually is the area where we want to buy. And you can see right here, once we actually came down and we wicked below this, that in fact was the bottom of this move. Now, it didn't mean that Bitcoin went straight to the moon. In fact, we went sideways from January of 2015 all the way until about October of the same year before we actually started to move to the upside. But nevertheless, at the point that we came down here, that ultimately was the bottom, and it was an excellent opportunity to accumulate, right? So if we come over here, we see the next time that we fell down here, we had a perfect touch. This actually did mark exactly the bottom of this 2018 into 2019 bear market. And of course, we didn't go straight to the moon right after that. We did chop a little bit sideways, but nevertheless, that was the best time to buy Bitcoin. The bottom was in, and it was an excellent opportunity for accumulation. Even right here where we had the COVID black swan event, we stayed down just for a week. We popped up over a week, but nevertheless, that in fact was the bottom of this move, and it was the best time to buy. And currently right now, you'll see that, yes, we have dipped below it, which we have actually dipped below it before. Some people say that we've never dipped below it. We actually have. You can see right here, back in 2015, we actually stayed below it. We closed below it 1, 2, 3, and then on the line 4. So it's not like we've never done that before, but nevertheless, if we zoom in right here, you can see we are in fact hovering around this area again. So that's probably the biggest indicator of all. Most people know the 200 weekly, but there's another thing too in the charts that we can look at, which is the weekly RSI, and when it does have specific bullish crosses below a certain level. So as you can see right here, we've only ever had 4 of these weekly RSI crossings bullish underneath 40. I've marked them all right here with these green lines, and if you zoom in, you can see that the thing that they all have in common is that we have this bullish crossover, right? We have the purple moving above the yellow, and it has to be lower than 40. So this has only ever happened 4 times. Let's see the first time that it happened right here, December 5th, 2011. You could see it was not the absolute bottom, but it did mark the fact that the bottom was in fact in, and we never went any lower from that point, and Bitcoin did start to climb up after that, right? We zoom in over here, same thing, February. This was February 16th of 2015. We got that flash right here. The market bottom was in fact in. And of course, like I said, we didn't go straight to the moon. We chopped sideways for a little bit, but nevertheless, even with this fake out that we had right here, we still never went lower than right here. So the bottom was in fact in. Let's look at the next time that this happened right here, January 28th of 2019. You could see we got this flash. In fact, the bottom was in. Excellent opportunity to buy. And you even had some weeks to accumulate on some upward momentum before that big move. So the bottom was in, and it was leaning towards the end of the bear market, right? And currently, again, my friends, we just had that again, right here on July 18th of 2022 of this year, we had this wick right here. Was the bottom in? Well, we don't know. It's a question right now. But the last 3 times, yes, the bottom was in, and we did continue to move up from that point. The next one, and one of my personal favorites on the channel, if you've been subscribed, you'll know, is the Super Guppy. Now, I know it sounds a little bit silly sounding indicator, but it is also one that I like to look at to get an idea of whether or not we've bottomed or not. Good old Super Guppy, one of my favorite charts. You could tell that right here, once we go into the green, you can see right here we go into the green, right here we go into the green, right here we went into the green. That means that we're definitely setting up for a massive, massive bull run, right? Well, we're not getting green right now, so don't get too excited. But what we can focus on is what it does in the bear trends when we go into this blue and neutral type color, right? So if we come over here, essentially, once we get out of the green, it could be neutral, it could be red, could be any color. But what I'm looking for is the first time that we have the blue switch into the neutral. It doesn't mean we can't have another blue. We can have some reds. We can have some blues again. That doesn't matter. It's just the very first time that we switch right here from blue into neutral. And you could see that happened February 16th of 2016. We have this wick down here. The bottom was was in, and this was excellent opportunity for accumulation. What about the next time we got this signal? February 11th of 2019, right here. This was a little bit later than the previous one we talked about, but nevertheless, the bottom was in, and we started to curl back up, okay? We didn't get a signal here. We kind of went into the neutral. This was sort of a fake out black swan event. COVID kind of threw a wrench in the gears a little bit, so that we didn't actually get a signal on that. But if we come forward here, we do have the blue switching into the neutral for the first time on the week of July 18th, coinciding actually with our other signal that we talked about. And the question is the bottom actually in? Of course, the big one that everyone's been talking about recently is the minor capitulation hash ribbon buy signal. Let's hop in and have a look at that one. Now, the hash ribbon indicator actually flashes a lot more frequently. You can see there's tons of different flashes all throughout history. I'm just going to focus on the newest ones. I guess if we want to add this one in right here, we can add this one in, sure. So it's not that this indicator is necessarily designed to call exact bottoms. It just offers good times to potentially buy Bitcoin. And in most instances, we tend to go up. In this case, you could see we actually went down a little bit, but it was calling the bottom of this market, and of course that was a good time to buy. Same thing right here. You could see this was a good time to buy. Bitcoin was sitting at around 7,100. It went up to 10,500. Now, we did have a crash. We did have that COVID crash right here. But nevertheless, it still signaled and it did continue upwards. The same thing happened right here. You could see this flashed at around 7,200. Another flashed right here at around 9,000. Keep in mind, we're still going up. We went up to 11, had a little pullback, and then we got another flash right here on December 2nd. We consolidated and then boom, went up. Same thing right here. This one was a little weaker, right? We went from 45,000 up to 52, down to 38, but then up to 67. So nevertheless, we were still signaling that there was an uptrend. And if you had bought exactly when it flashed, you would have still made some money, And right here, guys, we also have had that flash a buy signal again. So if history was to repeat, this is not necessarily the signal that says the absolute bottom is in, but we do know that there is usually some type of gains for the next several or few weeks. A lot of people are familiar with the pi cycle top indicator. Well, this is actually the reverse. This is the pi cycle bottom indicator. Let's have a look at that data. Now, this has only ever happened 2 times in Bitcoin's history, so that's not exactly a huge sample size, but if we have a look right here, we got a flash on the week of January 12th of 2015, and crazy, that was exactly on the lowest point of the market cycle. So if you bought when this flashed, you would have bought the absolute cheapest possible Bitcoin for that cycle. So that was a perfect indication of the actual bottom. This pi cycle bottom, when did this happen? Well, what do you know, guys? Again, exactly on the bottom right here. If you had bought when this flashed December 10th of 2018, you would have also bought the exact bottom of this move. Pretty incredible. Now, this one wasn't exactly at the bottom. We did have this candle right here, but nevertheless, it did in fact flash. And the previous 2 times that it did flash, it was on the exact bottom, and it had also told us that the bottom was in fact in. For this next one, we actually have to hop off TradingView and go over to Glassnode. This is the Puell Multiple, and this is also flashing some very interesting data. So the Puell Multiple right here, you'll notice usually when we get down into these deep, deep green areas, that means it's an amazing opportunity to buy. Does it mean it's the exact bottom? Well, there is one specific thing that we look for on here, and that's essentially when the Puell Multiple falls below 0.4, and then when it breaks above it the next time. So it has to be below 0.4, and then on the break, moving back above 0.4, that has always signaled amazing opportunities for buying, and the bottom was in. So back here, for example, we have Bitcoin price at around $2.33, absolutely crazy. As we move above here, you can see Bitcoin bottomed out completely, and we move all the way up to the top of the cycle until Bitcoin was around that $100 level, right? Actually, almost $200 level. Then if we go over here to Wednesday, January 21st, we fall below it. Then we start to move back above it right here. And you can see right around that area on February 16th, Puell is above 0.5, and that represents the absolute bottom, right? Or above 0.4 specifically. Same thing right here. Okay, we're falling December 3rd, 2018, and then all of a sudden we move above it around December 17th of 2018, and the price is around $3,500, and that was the exact bottom for Bitcoin. It did in fact mark the bottom, and you can see right here, we moved below it and then back above it around July 16th of this year. We went to 0.48, and that was when Bitcoin's price was currently at around 21,196. So that does beg the question, was that $17,000 level the bottom for Bitcoin? And finally, this is the only indicator on this list that is not a free indicator. You actually do have to pay for this indicator, but this is Market Cipher flashing green dots on the weekly. So with Market Cipher, you can see we've actually had 4 green dots ever in the history of this signal. Now, it's not just the green dots that I'm looking at, because you could see if we actually went by that signal right here, the green dot flashed at around $370, and then we actually rolled over and crashed all the way down to $147, right? But there also was something very different about this dot that we didn't see in the rest. So what are we looking for? We're actually looking for 4 specific things to happen. The first thing is this green dot down here. The second thing is we have to be in the red of the money flow. We also need to have these RSIs very low, and we need to have the VWAP, which is this yellow line, moving upwards into positive territory. So as long as we have all 4 of those, we did not have that on this one, so we do have that on this. And if we have a look, when that dot flashed, that in fact was on January 26th of 2015. The bottom was January 12th of 2015. So that means that yes, the bottom was in. This worked, okay? Let's move forward here. Same thing, right? Green dot, Market Cipher. We have the yellow VWAP moving upwards into positive territory. We have RSI oversold, and we are in the red for the money. Nevertheless, yes, this did in fact mark the bottom. And currently, right now, let's make sure that we have everything in check here. So what do we have? We have the green dot. We have the money flow in red, we have RSI oversold, and we have the VWAP moving into positive territory. This checks off all the boxes. Is this the bottom? Well, we don't know, but we do know that the last 2 times that we had all 4 of these, then yes, it absolutely was. And by the way, guys, if you are interested in purchasing Market Cipher, you can check out the link below in the description. It's a very good indicator for beginners as well as advanced traders, and it has a lot of different features. I prefer Market Cipher B. This is my favorite, but some people like SR, it shows you stop, support resistances. Market Cipher A can also give you some things at the top. And then the DBSI, this is a new one that they just came out with as well. So this also would be included. If you guys want, check out the links below for that. So those are 7 indicators that historically at these levels, doing what they're doing, have not only suggested that the bottom is in, but they've also been the most opportunistic times to buy into Bitcoin. So with that being said, guys, I'm not going to go on any longer with this video. I just wanted to point out that we have so many things technically that are pointing towards the Bitcoin bottom. Now, I can't speak for what the Fed is going to do or what's going to happen globally with inflation, or if there's a black swan event, a war, something like that. I have no idea. The only thing I can say is that according to the data, according to the charts, according to history, no emotions, just looking at what we have in front of us, yes, Bitcoin has bottomed, and yes, this is a good time to buy. Not financial advice, that's just what the charts are telling me. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope it's a beautiful day by you guys as well. And that is it for me. So make sure you get subscribed. We're going to get back to the normal content, obviously tomorrow. Just wanted to bring this video to you. And also, if you appreciated this video, you want to show your friends, family, feel free to share it. I think it's really important to not get emotional and caught up and just kind of look at the data in front of us. So that's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. You're the reason that I make these videos. And of course, if you haven't watched this video that's popping up right here, right now, check it out. Until next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out.